the Three Peaks Yacht Race. An epic journey. That follows 9 boats as they make their way from Barmouth in Wales to Fort William in Scotland. They'll encounter big seas and even bigger mountains as they battle it out to be crowned the 2023 Three Peaks Yacht Race champions. Over the course of this epic 6-day race, teams will tackle all that British weather has to throw at them. From driving wind and huge storms through to scorching heat, the teams will make their way from Barmouth in Wales 450 miles north up to Fort William in Scotland. Along the way, teams will drop off 2 runners at the base of Snowdon, Scafell and Ben Nevis before they run to the top and race back to the boats.
It's my first time doing the race. We were just at the race briefing and there is a lot of experience in the room and probably about 100 entries across all of them together in the past. No one on my boat has done it before, so I'm a little bit nervous that we don't know what to expect. But more than anything now, I'm just excited. The race gets started in about 2 hours time. So I'm feeling happy, feeling healthy, and I know that feeling is probably not going to last for very long, which we love.
Hi, my name's Ollie. We're with Herbie Rides Again. My name's Freddie, and we're going to be the runners for the trip. So yeah, looking forward to just getting our kit checked. We're going to be taking this Innovate pack with all the survival kit and snacks, and hopefully that'll be enough to get us around.
Time to meet the teams. Panache, Jezebel, Kestrel and Herbie.
So behind me, you see one of the top competitors in the race, definitely one to watch out for. It's captained by Jeff Hurst, who is a legend in these parts. He's done the race 21 times, winning 7 of them. So that's a boat to watch out for later on.
Three Peaks competitors, Three Peaks competitors, Three Peaks competitors. Just to let you know, let everyone know we're still on for a 2 o'clock start.
The race gets a massive send-off from the start at Barmouth as the boats are led out by the lifeboat. Things are never simple in this race, however, as Wild Spirit wraps a chain around their boat before the race has even started. As the boats crossed the start line, they didn't get very far. The wind died, and just as quickly, the oars came out for what would set the tone for a punishing race ahead.
Another hour or so, another hour on anchor. There's still flat seas, but we are watching some of the other boats gradually creep forward. Jezebel being about to hit the summit. They've been going for about 2.5 hours on the run. Lightning Reflex turned the motor on, entered the challenging class. They've been running for, I want to say, about 5 hours now, looking on track for about an 8-hour finish potentially. Panache are knocking at the gates, trying to get through the sandbar, but they'll have tide against them. So we're crossing our fingers that they can't get through, and that we keep a little bunch of this race together. And that's where we are right now. The nice thing about this leg of sailing is the continuity. It feels very at home. When I say we feel at home, it's because we've been off the end of the Limb Peninsula for about 12 hours now, so we really are making it our own. Been visited by some sea life, had a seal, there's been some dolphins knocking around. It's all very beautiful, but we would swap it all for a breath of wind.
With some of the more experienced boats already on the run, back on Kestrel, we found that wind that we'd been waiting for and finally started to catch up.
Right, it's the moment. We are motoring towards the drop-off point. We are mere moments away. about 2 or 3 minutes before we get dropped off, and in the blazing sunshine we are going to hair up Snowdon, hair back down, hopefully do it in about 4 hours time so we can make the tide through the swellies. So the sailors have done their job, it's time for us to do ours.
I'm Ben, I'm one of the marshals on the Three Peaks Yacht Race. Here we're in Carnarvon. Then from here, the yachts pull up against the jetty here, the runners come off, we check them in here.
We are well on our way. We're hot. We're well on our way to the base of Snowdon. 12k on the tarmac to get there, and then 7k up, 7k down, and you guessed it, 12k home. So it's hard work in this heat, but you gotta hashtag get it run, hashtag Libra education, Three Peaks Yacht Race. Sure is. Oh, top of Snowdon. That was really hard work. We saw the runners from Whiskey Galore on their way down about 10 minutes ago. And there's a few others making their way down now. But the most important thing is we're up here, halfway down here.
The next leg sees the sailors take on the challenging Menai Straits before they shoot up the Irish Sea all the way to Whitehaven, the next drop-off point. Light winds made for slow going for most boats through the straits, with often only tide keeping them going. However, for one boat, Panache, this provided an opportunity, as they went the long way around Anglesey, avoided the Menai Straits and found crucial wind that allowed them to steal a march on the competition.
So we are now on, what is it, Monday morning. So what's that? Nearly 36 hours in? About 36 hours in. A bit longer than that, 40 hours in. It's been tough. There's not been a lot of wind. I'd say almost half the time we've had less than 3 knots wind, which is quite painful. But we've done the first leg. Our runners absolutely smashed the run, getting up Snowdon and down incredibly quickly. We got through the Menai Straits, through the swellies, which was quite fun. Not too eventful, luckily. And now we're out of Straits, pointing straight at Whitehaven, doing a nice 3 to 4 knots bow speed, which sounds slow, but it could be a lot worse. And hoping we'll be at Whitehaven in 18 hours, maybe a bit less. And if we can get a bit more wind, we'd be very happy.
So we're about 24 hours into the second leg of sailing. We're about to pass through some wind farms. We are making ground. We're approaching Bolton Afterburn, or at least that's what it feels like. Maybe making some ground on the rest of the fleet. The first couple of boats are just exiting from their running stage. They've really had the heat of the sun on them. We're hoping to sneak in just before our harbour window closes. So that would be getting in at about midnight and putting in a 7 or 8 hour run from then. So let's see how that goes. But if the wind holds, should make it. Alright Jez, tell us what's happening now.
So we're just coming up to Whitehaven at the moment. The wind's done us a favour, it's gone slightly further right, so we've now put up the mow. We've got a beautiful sunset, and we're going fast. What more can you want?
Woo!
Welcome to the danger zone. We have got 2 hours to get into port, otherwise we've got no water and we're stuck outside for another 6 hours. If we get in, we're going to make up some places on the run big time. If we don't get in, then we're going to be twiddling our thumbs but getting a good night's sleep. So check back in a couple of hours and we'll see if we made it. I think we will.
The difficulty isn't done when you get through the Menai Straits. When you get to Whitehaven, you're faced with a tidal lock. That means if you arrive at low tide, you could be faced with a 6-hour wait before you can drop your runners off. But what does it take if you want to seriously challenge for the win in this difficult race?
Well, definitely endurance. I mean, that's absolutely key. Be good at rowing in this race because it's so light. You know, the boats that have been lightweight and have had good strong rowers, I think, have done the best so far. A nice lightweight boat has really helped this year. So yeah, and a bit of luck with the wind.
This leg is by far and away the most difficult for the runners, taking anything between 8 to 12 hours, either through the freezing nights or the scorching midday sun.
7.5 hours. Is that
No, quite good.
ambitious?
Yeah. We got is a 32-kilometre cycle, followed by a 20-kilometre run up to England's tallest mountain, and then a 32-kilometre cycle back. And it's now about 11:30. Hopefully it's going to take us about 7.5 hours, so predicting return about 8 AM, which is not how I normally spend my nights. Almost at the top of Scarfell Pike, the tallest mountain in England. It's about 4 o'clock in the morning. We've been hard at it since midnight, like you can tell. There's a big for making the effort. Now we just need to get to the top, get down, get back to the boat. It's going to take about another 4 hours. We've had a minor fault. Actually, do you know what? I had a really terrible patch where I thought I might pass out. At the final 40 minutes of the run. You go over, you cycle, you go over a pass, which isn't a pass, it's a mountain, down to sea level, up to Scarfell, down from Scarfell, back over this other mountain, and then you start your cycle, which starts off with a 10k climb to 250 metres.
This third leg of sailing is the longest, as boats leave harbour in Whitehaven and make their way up the coast to Fort William in Scotland. By this point in the race, Jezebel had eked out a commanding lead and all but guaranteed their rights as first over the line. But with handicaps to consider, and tactics, Herbie, Panache and Kestrel in hot pursuit, all is still to play for.
Good morning. We're just having our breakfast. Some delicious coffee, oaty, muesli dessert. Oscar has porridge with strawberry. And Jezza has oatmeal, which is American for porridge.
More low winds were to follow, as teams took very different strategies. Some took out the oars and started to row, whilst others took a refreshing dip in the calm waters.
Wednesday morning, day 4 or 5, in gorgeous sunshine. It's about 25-30 degrees out here. We're doing 5 knots, which is pretty good for this race, in 6 knots of true wind speed. and we're about 13 miles off Jura. We've got dolphins swimming all around us, the sun is shining, and most importantly of all, we've got boat speed, so no complaints here. Row, row, row your boat, 'cause we've got no wind. Rob, give us a race update of like overnight till now.
So overnight we were approaching the Mullican at about, I think it was about 10 p.m. We got the wind shift and the wind build that we were waiting for. Got the kite up and absolutely sent it, which is what we've been waiting for all race. Saw maximum boat speed of 17 knots. It was pretty fun. Managed to get past a few boats with our kite up, which was great. Got around the Mullican tyre, loads of tide against, but going fast enough that we could punch through it. And now we're at the opposite end of the spectrum, going 1.5 knots. With Dougie on the oars, just about filling the kite and trying to find the next bit of wind to get us up to the sound of wing.
Welcome to the Battle of Jura. Our best oarman and helmsman are up against Herbie, who are also oars out, making their way through this passage of water. Whoever exits first is probably going to take a big advantage into the next session. Different day, same battle. We are still going to row off with Herbie somewhere over there. So for this time, we're both going to lose the tide, I think. We're about to pick up a mooring buoy.
Arriving into Fort William is a welcome sight for all the teams. For the sailors, it's a chance to put their feet up and a well-earned beer. For the runners, a punishing 30k slog up the UK's highest peak. Amazingly, after 6 days of racing, 3 boats all finished within an hour of each other, setting up a grandstand finish. And with Herbie and Kestrel in the hunt for the King of the Mountains competition, everything was up for grabs.
2 men.
I don't know where they are. 5 miles. Let's go on, guys.
Go, go, go. Throw it anywhere. Go, go, go. We've got 5 minutes to make up. Let's go. Go, go, go.
As the sun sets on another amazing race, all that remains to say is well done to all that competed and all those that were involved. Jezebel took line honours, with Herbie taking King of the Mountain and being crowned winners of the 2023 Three Peaks Yacht Race sponsored by Libra Education. Well done from Libra Education to all teams that took part. See you next year. Goodbye.